Alright, so next I'm going to go to the Expenses tab, and I'm going to add in any other expenses that I can think of. So if you're staying in Airbnb, that would go here under hotel/lodging. Like I mentioned earlier, you won't put that under hotel reservation. It doesn't fall under that category. And you will add in anything else that you can add ahead of time. So for example, printing a poster. You could also add in things like registration fees, and anytime you can, you'll want to add comments explaining what you're adding in. I also want to note here that they do have car mileage as well as fuel here. And if you are driving, you can only claim up to the maximum airfare amount. So for example, if it costs you $250 to fly, but it would cost you $300 to drive, you would only get reimbursed for $250. And as a side note, if you are claiming mileage, you cannot charge fuel on your travel card. You can either claim mileage or you can claim fuel, but you can't claim both. And again, you can add anything else in here that you can think of, but I've added everything that I can currently think of that would go on here. Under the Approval Flow tab, it just shows that Dr. Eric Day will be the one that's approving this request. And under Audit Trail, currently it doesn't show anything, but once I submit this, you'll see actions taken underneath here. And you can also add any attachments that you want to this request. So for example, if you wanted to add those screenshots here, you could, but you will have to include them in the expense report. So I'm going to submit the request. And now here under requests, I now have an active request. And it shows that I've submitted it. And right now it shows the total. Once it is approved, where it says total, it will actually change to book. And this only happens if you chose option number 1, so booking inside Concur. Otherwise, if you chose option number 2 or after you've booked in here, this will change to an expense link. And at this point, you can start building your expense report, which I will detail in another video. And any expenses that are put on your travel card will already be generated in the system, and you can pull it from there. And you can compile all these expenses before you go on your trip, or you can wait until after you get back from your trip and then start building your expense report. So it's really up to you which option you want to choose as far as going ahead with the expenses part.